World-class museums are usually the glossiest part of any city's tourist brochure. You think of the Tate in London or the Met in New York. I would have thought Hong Kong would have such a place by now. It doesn't, but it is working on building a shiny new government-funded institution called M+. Hasn't even been built yet, but it's already staged its first show. And considering its location, it was surprisingly politically controversial, as Sana Carter found out.
Right now, Hong Kong's M+ Museum looks like this, a pile of dirt on a construction site. It's set to open in 2019, but that date's already been pushed back a number of times. So, to keep an exasperated Hong Kong public excited, it put the best of its collection on show in a temporary location.
Pili, so this exhibition chronicles 40 years of contemporary art in China. Now that's a pretty eventful, pretty tumultuous few decades it's been.
Yeah. This very dramatic period. We all see that in China, every people have so many lives, which what they experience for the last 40 years, like several lives.
That 40-year period includes the Cultural Revolution, the Tiananmen Square protests, and China's explosive economic growth. Nothing is off limits here, though, not even art aimed at Chairman Mao.
Now, I mean, is this something that could be shown on the mainland? I mean, it's critical in a way of Mao.
It was very controversial. What the artist tried to do here, he wanted to analyze authority.
Now, right across from it are some photographs of Tiananmen Square. I imagine that surely can't show on the mainland.
No, this photo cannot show. People try to hide this history here.
And so, how is it even possible that it's able to show in Hong Kong in the current political climate where...
One nation, two systems. I think the reason Dr. Wu Li wants to have this whole collection donated to Hong Kong, I think the free expression is the major thing on his consideration.
He's talking about Uli Sig, Swiss businessman, former diplomat, and big-time Chinese art collector. These works are all from his larger collection, part of which he's donated to M+.
He was thought that collecting art is the best way to know a local society. He committed himself to preserve this history for Chinese people.
And there's an Aussie connection here too. One of the key players involved in securing the collection was former Sydney Opera House boss Michael Lynch. From 2011 to 2015, Michael was the CEO of the West Kowloon Cultural District. That's the massive Hong Kong arts development where M+ will eventually be built.
The nature of the collection was always going to be potentially a problem in China, and I think none of the Chinese institutions put on the table bids that I think Uli was prepared to accept. But I think if he couldn't get it in resident in China itself, then Hong Kong was the next best place to do it.
Despite the political nature of the collection, Michael says the deal went ahead without much pushback from either the Hong Kong government or the mainland.
It was always clear that 29 of the major pieces were Ai Weiwei works. Well, I think at various stages along the way, Ai Weiwei was in jail in China. So the sensitivities around that were real, but I think people understood that that was 29 works of 1,500 works telling a very big story of the development of contemporary art in China.
So what is the public reaction to the show?
It's pretty good, and surprisingly, the show really became a blockbuster show, and now it's already nearly the 4 weeks of the whole show. We got more than 25,000 audience.
So you're hopeful about the future of free expression in Hong Kong then?
Yeah, as you can see for this show, all the artist expressions has been well represented here with this kind of curatorial freedom.
Is there a limit though to what can be shown in Hong Kong?
I think the interesting issue will probably be some years into the future, and that will be an interesting test of what's going to happen in terms of what can be shown or what causes controversy.
We all know the freedom of expression is great things, but as we all know, in any place in the world, that the people always have to keep a very strong awareness to maintain it.